181 days. That's how long it's been since Simple, the greatest to ever do it, played an official match. After completing Counter-Strike Go like it was a campaign, major winner, Grand Slam champion, more MVPs than anyone else, he walked away.
Yeah, I decided to retire. I decided to retire from competitive scene.
When CS2 launched, he disappeared. His last full-time game for NAVI was back in 2023, and a short stint with Falcons that went nowhere. But now, he's back. FaZe Clan, struggling since losing Ropz and forced to bench longtime AWPer broky, went star hunting. And they did not just find a replacement, they found Simple. In his first match back, we saw flashes of the old brilliance, vintage Simple moments.
Up at the door by Karrigan, Simple teed up by the distraction, and it's 3 from Simple.
Karrigan defying logic.
Down the law on the Tech 9, they're so low, he's run out of bullets, he gets around the corner. Can Karrigan pull this off against Nerds? Yes, he can!
And a FaZe squad trying to find its rhythm, with a legend dropped into the lineup. So the question is, was this the spark FaZe needed, or just a temporary high? We have to start with the pistol round. A series of FaZe and Liquid had a great plan going into the pistol round. Liquid bought a Molotov, 2 smokes and 1 flash. This buy is used to early win mid control, as we'll use a spawn smoke like this to cover red room and then force the CTs to either push middle or fall back and give away mid to the T side. And for Liquid, that is the goal now. Then we will see a twist. Did you get that? Well, twist will throw this smoke here towards donut, as usually when the T side takes bottom mid, we usually see the T side get stuck in bottom mid, as the fight towards donut is not easy, as the long range fights and easy escape path forces the T to take their time clearing donut. But Liquid want to win top mid control early, and that is why we are seeing this donut smoke being used, so you don't have to worry too much about donut when taking mid control. FaZe in this round will buy a smoke and 1 flash, but no kit, so FaZe can't afford to lose sight early. And why they have bought utility to keep Liquid out and to delay the bomb plant. Liquid will early send 4 players to middle and then have 1 player alone towards A main to make sure FaZe can't win main control, as Liquid will start by taking mid control with 4 players, so you can just run over FaZe in middle. While the main player of Liquid is placed here, as this is a very common default when losing middle on the CT side, is to win back A main control fast. FaZe will start the round with 2 players in middle, 1 on A inside temple and then 2 on B, with 1 on site and the last inside cave, a very default setup. On the mid take from Liquid, we will see Karrigan is forced back due to the smoke on red, while the leech will be fast running here to get into donut and fall back. And Liquid has 1 middle, but staying still and taking long range fights are not their goal. And here we will see Liquid will charge towards a leech before he is smoked off and then push their own smoke in red room. And Karrigan is fast to realize something like this could happen. And here, he is fast to call for help and fall back. And here Karrigan will flash just to delay Liquid enough so Frozen and the leech can help with the hold, and it's a 1-for-1 trade. But this trade favors FaZe. As I showed some videos ago, each player has assigned a number of how good they are, both mechanics and role. So Karrigan for ultimate is like FaZe losing 1 point, and the total is still 14, while ultimate is 3rd on the list. So Liquid points are only 12. So FaZe won in the aspect of trades, but the leech in this fight was dinked down to 1 HP, so Liquid still has some ways out. Liquid understands they have to win more map control, and here A side is the target. And after the dust settles, we will see Liquid are up 3 versus 2, and the 2 players left are the newcomers to FaZe, Simple and Skulls, as Rain is waiting his 2nd child and could not attend Dallas. And if we look at the number system, we can see Liquid is ahead by a lot. Liquid misplaced the hold, as they have 3 players left, meaning 1 has to plant and then 2 out of 3 entry points can be held. And here Liquid opts to hold main and donut. So when they go for the plant, it's a plant open for CT, where both FaZe players will come from. And Simple and Skulls place it well together, forcing the planter to try to make a play that leaves him dead and the bomb dropped to FaZe. And this 3v2 is now a 2v2 in the favor of FaZe, as NAVI is too low to take the solo fights. And Simple and Skulls makes it close, and in the 1v1 Skulls wins it. And FaZe takes the round, a much needed round from the struggling team.
Behind cover and realizes there's still 1:15 left, but then he swings into the open. Simple offers up 1 kill. And is there anything else for Simple on the Julies? If he can take down Shuey, it is just Nav, low in HP around the corner, and should be comfortable enough to close this one out. Simple looking for it, but he goes down, and it's going to be Skulls to step up.
Hey everyone, a bunch of my content got taken down due to copyright strikes from the major tournament organizers, all because they had ads that wiped out nearly 80% of my income overnight. If you enjoy the content and want to help me keep it going, I've launched a Patreon with bonus content and weekly uploads, and a Twitter to keep you all updated. Thank you so much for the support. Now back to the video. Wait, Liquid has such a shitty buy. Why are we talking about this round? God damn it, how did FaZe throw this? In round 2, Liquid went for a buy down to 0, and this is risky in the second round, as if FaZe then wins it, as they did. In round 3, Liquid will be forced to upgrade to pistols and give FaZe a third and even a fourth round maybe, on the full buy FaZe had in round 2. But for FaZe, round 3 is a bonus, and here they want to maximize their guns to quickly win the round, but this will be their downfall. Liquid starts the round with 1 player lower middle and then 4 players towards B side, boosting 1 player and holding for the heaven push. FaZe will send 2 players middle, 1 close A main, and then 2 on B, using a lot of nades to set up a leech. FaZe wants a leech to get to heaven fast and take control of this part, and look down to see if anyone is here, as this helps FaZe read if Liquid will go for a delayed mid take or a full on A push. And even though FaZe has used so much resources to keep Liquid stuck in ramp, they are not holding the ramp push, and Ultimate can get a 1-for-1 trade, a massive mistake by FaZe. Simple pushes from mid after Leech falls back, as they switch places, and here he can find a kill in ramp, so Crisis dodged, never mind. He overpeaks and air twist, Deagle finds a beautiful shot, and we are down to a 3v3. But FaZe has given up mid control, and this means they either has to weaken the B setup to take mid, or have the A player take over middle and leave A open, or go for a 1-1-1 setup. Not ideal any of these options, as the fourth option is to give Liquid mid, and this is not ideal at all, as that can allow Liquid to control the round. FaZe uses this ramp smoke, a clear indication they are afraid of Liquid, while Liquid opts to just wait, and this is not ideal, as we can see FaZe will have a donut player switching between A site and mid, as well as a short player looking red room and B site, so Liquid has managed, without moving, to split the attention of FaZe, all thanks to the bottom mid player of FaZe either dying or leaving it open. FaZe has 3 SMGs, so why are they on B, grouping up on long for long range fights versus Deagles? It's one of the weirdest setups I've ever seen in a round like this, as this puts both B players at a disadvantage, as well as Frozen, who has to rotate in, will struggle to win anything back for FaZe if he loses both long players. And in a 3v3, we will see Liquid find 3 kills from great shooting and just bad positioning from FaZe, while FaZe finds 0 kills and loses such a crucial round. Great play from Liquid though.
This need to go into an all-in play and put your hopes on Simple.
Oh, another deal shot, and Unleash is also low, so Twist brings him down, and then suddenly, patience pays off for Liquid. It is Frozen 1v3, and this round was not expected to go in the way of Liquid, but they find a way through to B. This is going to be a tough one. Damn, what a shot!
Why did Liquid even run out on site through a smoke? Well, we have to go back to the start to see how FaZe forced Liquid to make this decision. Early on we are seeing FaZe and 3 players middle, then 1 on each side, but with 3 players in middle, you are forced to win it. And we can see FaZe spare no utility taking middle, and quickly they can win mid. After Nerds tries to be sneaky by breaking the smoke with a nade, but I like how Frozen stays hidden until the break happens, and then peeks into Nerds, as this gives him the upper hand in the fight. While all of this in mid is happening, we can see Liquid send 3 players towards B, and then 1 in mid to help Nerds. So already early on, Liquid are leaning towards B. As if Nerds could have won middle, Liquid's option to where to go is way better, as now they can go mid, or get Nerds up heaven and go for the B take. But as Nerds dies and FaZe wins full on mid control, we can see Liquid's map control falls flat, as well as Liquid molotoved off their only way of getting heaven, as they want to stop FaZe from taking it, and this might backfire, as it limits where Liquid can even go to early on. FaZe will then quickly walk up here in middle and take heaven and show to Liquid that they have this, as this puts Liquid in a box on B, meaning Liquid can't really go anywhere but to site or back to spawn, 2 options that are not ideal at all. After putting so many players early outside of B, as by now FaZe could have taken A main control, cave control, heaven control and all. And we can see FaZe knows this. As they started with 3 players in middle, we will see FaZe leave middle and all goes to B site. Liquid decides to call for everyone to go B, as that is all they have left of map control, and a way out to take this round back in their own hands. And again FaZe are perfect. A well-timed Molotov freezes Liquid in bottom ramp, and here we will see Simple use this opportunity to walk towards Cubby on B side, but not right away. One key issue with this Cubby is this wall right here, as the spam through the boxes makes the position an easy target, as it's easier to spam like this as the surface area is much smaller than going for this spam here. So here FaZe will use this flash and then 2-man peek into cave to clear this part, to allow Simple a much safer Cubby position. On the full on execute, Liquid goes for the default smokes, but here it all goes wrong, as FaZe times it with a great smoke towards ramp and Karrigan finding twists through the smoke, and Liquid are forced to execute onto site, and here Simple is perfect.
good counter nade, chunks him down before it begins, and here's the thrust.
Yeah, under 1 minute left on the clock, and the acceleration is here for Team Liquid, but stopped at the door by Karrigan. Simple teed up by the distraction, and it's 3 from Simple.
We are jumping into the action, and last round we talked about we saw FaZe read Liquid to a team, but in this round it's different. As we can see, FaZe will have one player super passive in middle, as he's not peeking it and only watching for the red room push, while they will then have 2 players on both A and B sides. So we can tell FaZe are very unsure how Liquid will play, and that comes down to Liquid not giving FaZe the opportunity to get any information about how they will play this round. While Liquid with 5 players are just waiting for the push call, as they has the perfect setup to win B side, as they have cave and ramp control. Only issue for Liquid is the missing utility, as they only have a smoke and a flash, so how will this go? And more important, how do you play with missing so much utility? Well, let's analyze B side on Ancient. If the T side has full cave and ramp control, well, you should smoke out long, as long is such a tricky position to deal with, if you want to split push from cave and ramp, as here it's better to allow the ramp player to fight short and the cave player to fight sides. As with long open, both cave and ramp can be held from multiple positions, and Liquid goes for the long smoke. But it's some issues. First is that the cave player splits up due to FaZe smoking them off, with one player pushing the smoke while the other stays behind the smoke, and FaZe finds the first kill. Second issue is the long smoke, as it creates a dream scenario for an aggressive AWPer, aka Simple, as here it's too far out, and will allow Simple to find 2 insane kills before he is traded.
Push is severed off from his teammate, but Simple stepping around the smoke. It's going to be 1. Can he get the second? Yes, he can.
And when Simple falls, Liquid should be at a disadvantage, but it's a 2v2, so how did Liquid even do that? Well, when they lost cave, the ramp player had to set up and try to win site, as NAVI, who used the long smoke to walk up ramp, finds Skulls trying to help Simple, as well as Nerds in ramp finds Karrigan on short, who was rotating in, and it's down to 2v2. To see how this round will end for both teams. On the plant we can see Twist in cave goes more passive, as in a 2v2 if he were to peek and die, while his teammate can trade him back. But this gives FaZe a lot of room to play with, and here they can molotov the bomb, and quickly time is working against Liquid. Nerds on the AWP, as FaZe is not expecting the AWP out, as Ultimate is dead, finds the first kill, and it's all left to Frozen, but he can't win it.
Yeah, this is a great reposition. Nerds actually coming into the angle now. Frozen steps deep enough to dodge it, missed shot. And Twist not biting, not moving. Frozen's going to check into his cave, and it's a perfect reposition to wrap around the back, and Twist.
We have to talk about this round, as we can see Liquid should win this round, as they have the better guns, while FaZe are going for the hero AK on Simple and a Galil on a Leech. So how do you play a round like this? Well, Liquid will try to play it normal by having 3 players early and middle to take it fully, while they leave A open to have 2 players taking B side, with 1 on long and 1 push into cave. So this is almost perfect, but remember, FaZe managed to plant in the pistol round. This usually means that we will see a buy from FaZe, and that's why I have an issue with this player pushing close into cave with an MP9, as FaZe can easily challenge him, find a gun, and an opening to B side for the execute. FaZe are going for 1 in middle and then 4 players towards ramp, and many might wonder why they have Karrigan, their worst player, solo middle. Should it not be a player that might be able to actually hit a shot or find a kill? Well, Karrigan as the IGL can usually tell how a team will be playing, and he will be peeking out in middle and finds a lot of damage on the Twist, as well as he were able to force 1 player in middle back to Donut and Twist stuck in Kirby, as well as he can spot these shots from the red room player, meaning Liquid is 3 players in middle. And with the player being fast to get into Donut, usually means A is empty. So here, zoom in on his camera, and it's clear what he is saying. He is saying to the rest of the team to go for the execute. FaZe walks up ramp that is fully open, as Liquid has prioritized long and cave. So here NAVI is forced into the corner, that is a good spot, but you can easily be ran down if you are checked. While Sihu goes out of cave to help on the side hold. And quickly it's 3 trades, and both teams are down to 2v2. But Liquid has the guns and utility, so this should not be hard. Well, Karrigan and Frozen place themselves to allow Karrigan to take first contact, as well as Frozen in this off angle uses this rock wall to hold off Liquid. But due to the gun advantage, Liquid can force Karrigan back and find Frozen. It's all left to the man himself to win this 1v2, and I will let the casters do the rest of the round, as it was not perfect.
Just standing and drooling and laying down the law on the Tech 9. They're so low, he's run out of bullets. He gets around the corner. Can Karrigan pull this off against Nerds? Yes, he can. Nerds reloading, trying to jump to cover.
We're entering round 21, and it's a key round for this match, as both teams are 10-10 and tied up, as well as money-wise, both teams are struggling, meaning the winner of this round should be able to secure a match point, as the loser is forced to save in round 22. Early on we can see FaZe has opted to have one player in mid, stuck behind the bottom mid smoke, one in A main using some utility, and then 3 on B, with boosting the AWP up here to hold for any long peaks, and the last 2 players looking towards the smoke face through here. Liquid are leaving mid open to rather have 3 players towards A and Donut, as from Donut you can both hold middle and help on A site, and then they will have 1 player alone on B site and the last one in cave. FaZe gets ready to take bottom mid with 2 players from B sidewalk and 2 in bottom mid, but due to this smoke FaZe has thrown, Sihu has been allowed to clear it and re-smokes FaZe, making them stuck here and making this mid push fully useless. As we can see, a leech still goes for it and is found by ultimate for no trades or any benefits from this take. Liquid on this kill will send Nerds bottom mid to take full control of it, while Sihu in cave make sure Nerds can't be peeked from heaven, and FaZe are forced to go to B site, as this is all the map control they have. When Nerds wins bottom mid, him and Sihu wants to clear out ramp, and here it's a 1-for-1 trade, as Liquid keeps on pressuring FaZe when they least expect it. And with the loss of heaven control, FaZe are forced to go for the execute, and here ultimate is perfect, playing around the pillar, and FaZe loses such a key round.
Not looking good here for FaZe. They still have a very difficult defense to get through, and ultimate's not going to miss that shot. Flash comes in a little bit late. Ultimate follows up, and we've got S1MPLE stuck on the ramp, cleared out by the Polish sniper who gets himself a 3K.
And in round 23, FaZe has to just go for a grouped up rush, and it backfires as Liquid just were ready for it.
Karrigan, no surprises, going to be the utility man, sending out the smoke for short, flashes to follow up. And look at this maneuver through the smoke. Shuey and Twist combined to crunch on FaZe, and indeed it is checkmate.
After Ancient was over, S1MPLE ended the match with a rating of 0.91, but we saw glimpses of what to come from him. But could he step it up to give FaZe a shot at map 3? We are going to see a fast pistol round, but to understand why, let's first see what both teams' game plan is. Liquid are buying a lot of utility, as they want to play the round slow and here try to take a site like a real tactical team. But the issue with this approach is that they will not be ready for a full-on rush. But what are the chances of that happening? Liquid will send 2 players up banana and then 3 players in ramp, as they are playing it slowly and waiting for FaZe to make the first move, or rather, mistake. FaZe will have a smoke and a flash, and here send 3 players A and then 1 solo on B and 1 going B but later, as it seems like it was a misunderstood call here. And here FaZe would send all A players down middle in this setup, following this wall so Liquid can't see them walk down, and all that utility from Liquid is just useless.
They sense it. Oh, that's a beautiful shot from Frozen. Skulls had one on top, and Liquid still have not triggered this trap. They have not sprung. Skulls delivering death down middle, and Twist finally trades it off, but that pistol round is cooked.
Liquid starts the round with using 3 Molotovs, as these ones are thrown early to force the CTs away from key areas of the map, to try to limit the early information FaZe can get. As we can see, this Molotov here is used top banana to make sure FaZe can't push top banana and get any information about what is happening in bottom banana. This Molotov here is used towards short in middle, as this makes it so no FaZe players can peek ramp and get any information about bottom mid, and then the last Molotov is used in apps to make sure FaZe can't peek apps early and get information about second mid. This approach has been popular for quite some time, but it's important that T-side uses this fast and does not slow down the round, as then you just use 3 Molotovs early to win nothing. FaZe will start the round quite passive already, with Karrigan dropping utility over on B and falling back, while FaZe will have 2 players on B, 1 ready with utility here if the other player is pushed, then they will have 2 players in A, both towards this part, as they keep long open so Karrigan can quickly get back into a good position after giving away utility on B. As if he was supposed to be short, the route he would go to get to short is much longer. And that's why you usually have the long player being the one dropping utility on B and walking back. Liquid uses a lot of more nades towards top banana, and here sends 3 players banana. And a leech tries his best to keep them out, but is smart to fall back, as he can't really get any advantages taking the fight, but he will get into sight. Here we can see FaZe over on B goes for a very nice move, as when Frozen can see that the leech has to fall back to sight, as that is faster for him to do than to fall to CT. We will see Frozen go to CT and use this smoke to hold off Liquid, and set FaZe better up on B, than if both him and a leech was on sight. The smoke just blooms and CU can't find a kill to a leech, and this forces Liquid all the way back to middle, as losing this part of B site is crucial as they don't really have mid control. All the early map control Liquid tried to get are about to fade away now that the 4-man push banana went wrong. And here we see something fun. FaZe rotates one player over, and that is the long player, now that they can't hear or see anything in middle, while Liquid leaves mid to try for a second time to take B. Liquid starts the B take with using some smokes on A, as this is to force FaZe to have some A players staying until they can see the bomb, so it's a good call to go for a fake. Simple finds the lurker, and then over on B we see a 3-for-3 trade, and it's all left to Twist versus Simple and Skulls. And their Twist is allowed to plant, and I have no idea why, but Simple jumps up here and just dies. Like, did he think Skulls was close enough so he could swing and trade on this? Well, this gives Twist a way out, and he only have to deal with Skulls now.
Simple collecting the opening kill of the round, Karrigan to follow up, damage being done, Frozen on the cleanup, and eventually taken back down by Twist, who now finds himself in a clutch. And Simple is incredibly low, and if he had gone down there, it would have been a 1v1 against Skulls. But Simple plays his life at least for a second longer, and then jumps into the open, gives it up, and Twists makes it look easy.
FaZe goes for a very fun setup in apps. Here they will play Simple on the AWP all the way back on the wall here, so he can hold for any players peeking from stairs. Only issue with this play is that if Liquid were to have a player coming from the right side, like bedroom, he can see Simple before Simple can see him, and that is why we will see Skulls go here on the right side, closer to the left side peak to be in an off angle that allows you to surprise the right side player, while not being spotted by the left side jiggles. Then FaZe will have 3 players on B with Karrigan dropping utility before going long. Liquid on the other hand will use some early utility again with the 3 Molotovs, but FaZe meets this with early banana nades, forcing Liquid to have all 5 players focusing middle, with 2 in second mid and 3 towards middle. So the issue with FaZe setup is that long is quite open, as no players are holding it, meaning FaZe even makes short weaker as both A players early are in apps. Liquid will in this round use this smoke for long, and then use the flash to send Sihu out middle and Twist out of boiler, after he jumped into bedroom. NAVI with a Mac-10 tries to be sneaky but is found by a great shot from Simple, as this is a hard shot to hit. But Liquid like always has an answer. With FaZe now being smoked off from long and leaving short open, Karrigan is forced to try to do something, and he will try to break the smoke with a nade, and you can actually hear when a nade is thrown. And here Sihu on the queue will walk out of the long smoke and finds Karrigan with nothing in his hand.
At an awkward timing, NAVI is going to be there with the Mac-10 to control that.
Simple, there's the shot, and that's the opener. So, gonna back away. Here's Shuey making his way through the long smoke. Karrigan not ready for that play.
And the trade is back, but more importantly, Liquid has one long control. Simple and Skulls splits up, with Simple focusing long from an off angle, while Skulls hold short from an off angle. So they are just trying to get kills, not staying alive. While we see over on B, we can see a Leech push down banana while Frozen rotates over towards A. Simple finds the long player, but quickly FaZe loses 2 players, and it's down to a 2v3 as Skulls is found on short, and a Leech pushing down banana was not expecting Lurch to still be holding. And I like that from Lurch. His teammate on A has not needed much help, so why not just stay behind and hold for anyone pushing down? And he is rewarded for it. Liquid goes for the execute with these utility here, and Frozen finds an insane timing, able to walk into the smoke, and here waits for the sound that the bomb has been planted before he peeks out and finds 2 kills, all left to Nerds. Nerds finds Simple, who thought Nerds would come from apps, as the plant is for apps, but Frozen can trade it back and win FaZe a crucial round, as FaZe had no money left while Liquid has a massive bank. FaZe has to start tearing it down.
He comes out the other side, he's got one, in the side he's got another on Twist.
Oh my goodness, Frozen, what a move, and now it tees up. Just Nerds for this 1v2 round, the back, Simple gone. Tapping the defuse, not the full stake, but it's gonna pull Nerds into the open, and Frozen's gonna be able to pull it off.
This round is all about coordination, as this is a big part for most teams that are new, like FaZe who has 2 new players right now, as you are not used to calls the way players calls and play and more. FaZe sends all 5 players towards A with 3 in middle and 2 in apps, as they have some smokes and flashes, and will use these smokes here for the mid take, as it creates this big box on A site, as FaZe wants to lock Liquid into, and then use these flashes here to win top middle. Liquid will have 4 players top middle, holding just for this play here, and then 1 on B as a solo player. And here the only issue I can see from Liquid are that they are not ready for the apps players from FaZe. On this pop from FaZe, we can see a Leech did not expect a late long flash, and here is fully blinded, and can't see anything, and he is found. But on this pop, the apps players from FaZe drops down, and as NAVI fully stops the mid push, Simple finds the trade, and the game is still close for both teams. And Liquid knew this was an issue, but here I think with the pressure FaZe put in middle, it made sense no Liquid player would be able to watch apps. As well as the flashes takes away all sound and vision, so Liquid had no idea about this app spot. NAVI is found as he tunnel visions towards middle, and tunnel visioning means you are looking through a tunnel, not focusing anything else but the opening, as that was the mid player. As he knew s1mple would come short, but probably wanted to try to kill the guy in middle as that's an easier kill. FaZe own smoke screws them over, as here we will see Sihu find a nice route to go into site and stop the planter, as the bomb gets planted here. And to be fair, Frozen should have just planted on the box and safe, just to secure the round win, or wait for s1mple. But we are down to 2v2 and Karrigan is low. But a low Karrigan is not a dead Karrigan, and he can walk out of apps to find Sihu, hiding from s1mple on site, as well as a massive dink to Nerds. What a hero play from the low HP player.
He'll drop, nearly dropped Shuey in the sight. His HP is so low. s1mple just looking to finish him off, running out of bullets. Karrigan comes in to help, and now it is just Nerds left on 5 HP, coming back into the fight, and s1mple's looking for his 4th kill of the pistol, and that is exactly what he will grab.
Liquid on the T side usually play to limit FaZe aggression, while FaZe on the other hand don't play to limit any CT aggression, but rather use the utility to force the CT's inverse angles. Let me show you. FaZe has one player second middle, and then the rest splits between mid and banana. And here as Liquid would have used these Molotovs already by now, FaZe rather uses a Molotov here top banana, but this allows Liquid to still peek car if they want, as it's not like the one Liquid threw top banana to block off any player's peeking it. This one on the other hand will force a player like Nerds all the way back and splitting him and see who setup up in top banana. Liquid will go for 2 players banana setup like this, and then have 2 players in apps to hold it, as apps holds has kind of died out in the meta, but at IEM Dallas we saw way more of it. And then they will have 1 player long using a Molotov here in second middle, when he sees the FaZe Molotov towards top middle. And this is insane. Elite goes for this jump here, peeking out middle, challenging the AWP long and getting into boiler. I have no idea why he did not just jump into bedroom, but this move makes Liquid wonder, as now Ultimate saw a player short but not into boiler, so now Liquid has to send one of the apps players to watch short. And something even top teams forgets about is how to play a default when something changes. And this is what we see on Liquid, as NAV leaves apps to check short, Twist stays in apps, same spot, but remember the 2-man apps setup is there for a reason, as now Twist will be much more open for a 2-man swing from FaZe. And a good flash and Twist is found, and we can see that NAV walked back to try to help him, but by then it's too late. Nerds was forced into sandbags and find Karrigan, as Liquid's banana set was ruined by a Molotov and this flash, and quickly Liquid wins banana. But again we are seeing FaZe thinking one step ahead, as when losing banana, there are already 3 players ready to take mid and A site. And Frozen has confirmed that Liquid are 2 players in banana, so here it can only be 2 on A left. Skulls finds an opening towards apps, able to push up before the Molotov can stop him, and this puts a lot of pressure on Liquid, as their apps player has to fall to side to hold for the mid take. And here we can see trades are in, and FaZe are able to get it down to a 3v3. But NAV goes well above his paycheck, and finds 1 more kill, but leaving himself low. So who will win this round? All comes down to a 1v1, after the trades and the dust has settled. And here we will see the AWP of s1mple versus the brain of Sihu. And if there is a time for s1mple to show how good he is, well it's now.
It goes silent as s1mple looks towards the apartments, but Shuey slinks closer through short. s1mple backs up in the sight. 1v1 missed shot, got the cover. Goes back out into the open again, s1mple. Dancing around the box is Shuey in the open, and s1mple's got the shot. Never a doubt, really, and that's why FaZe have got him in the squad.
FaZe has the hero Galil on Skulls. Like, what the hell is this round? But it's a crucial one, as Liquid are on match point, so for FaZe to keep the Galil on Skulls mightn't make sense. But I think a lot of players misunderstands why some teams like G2 gives the hero AK to Snack sometimes. As back in the days, the star player would have gotten the hero gun. Unless it's an AWP, then it's your AWPer who will have it. But now in Counter-Strike 2, the understanding is split. Some teams let their star wield the big guns, while FaZe here opts to give the Galil to Skulls, as Elite, Frozen and s1mple can all do a lot more with just pistols than Skulls can do. So here you even it all out, so every player has a chance to shine. FaZe sends 2 players fast up second middle, then 3 in ramp, where 1 will look banana and the 2 other will hold for any mid peaks. In this setup, as we can see, is to activate the Galil on Skulls, as the mid players will make sure second mid can't be peeked, and the 2 second mid players will have the pistol player going first to allow Skulls to trade him if they were to peek or be peeked. Liquid are going for 3 players on B, where 1 will be on site and 2 will take banana control, and then have 2 players on A with 1 on long and 1 on short, so apps early will not be held. Liquid will be smoked off top banana, losing them a lot of control towards banana. Then we will see Liquid meet this by smoking middle and having both players fall off top middle to play safer. I don't like it, as with the guns on FaZe, if they can get closer to site, the pistols become a threat rather than a minor issue, as A site allows for close range fights and many more spots to hide and peek from, rather than taking the fights head on in mid when FaZe takes it. FaZe on all of this sends all 5 players behind the smoke and just wants to pop out of it and try to win top mid and some fights. Simple throws these flashes, while Skulls uses these ones here, and quickly FaZe can win long. Like, look at how great this is of a take. The flashes pops behind each other, meaning FaZe would have blinded anyone top middle and long, and as an analyst this is beautiful to watch. And this push is perfect, as when long falls, FaZe will push their own long smoke, forcing both A players left on site to hold long, while Simple Short can then walk up and find a kill, and quickly this 5v5 is down to a 2v3, with great trading for FaZe. FaZe and Liquid trades places in the smoke so Twist can stay alive and wait for reinforcement, while FaZe can plan and play the after plan from stronger positions, as they pick site and pit to play from. And here the toxic teammates Simple and Leech is perfect, as Leech finds the first kill on short from his great off angle, as going to site is a nightmare for any players, whether it's a site push or in this case a retake, as there are so many spots to clear, and when the Leech finds this kill, Simple will be allowed to take more open fights towards the long player, and it's all left to Nerds. Nerds can deal with the Leech and pit, and it's all left to Simple to keep FaZe alive, while Nerds can't win it no matter what. The time is too low and he's on 1 HP, and Simple again clutches the 1v1 for FaZe.
Take space at short. Dead from the pit. Elige with that first kill. Simple in the sight. It's all on Simple again, and he drops into the smoke. Time's the problem here for Liquid. There's not enough of it.
Round 23 is the last round of this series, and as we can see, FaZe are not on match point, but Liquid are. As FaZe tried a mid push but ended in disaster after FaZe decided to keep 1 player down in bottom middle, and it was an odd choice, as the mid pushes for FaZe has worked the best when they are all 5 players, and Simple's first game with FaZe ended in not a favorable outcome.
But this is taking his gaze away from Elige. Oh, missed shot, but he gets the conversion.
No way. He can dig him out of the hole. Van Dolken stays alive inside of the site. Shuey turns up, and just enough to close it out. Liquid let out a roar as they take their opening win here.
And there we have it. FaZe did not win this BO3, and let's face it, Skulls, who is replacing Rain for this event, did not step up to Rain's caliber at all. But to end Inferno, Simple ended with a 1.36 rating, a whole 0.4 rating higher than the second highest rated player from FaZe on Inferno. So we're seeing Simple is a better AWPer and player than broky at the moment. But we have to wait and see if with Rain something will change,